I am doing a session on the station risk profile. This is our second session. We did one earlier last week. So today's session, we're recording it again for the purpose of blind TAFE assessment. Today I'm going to actually show you, take you through the station risk profile online, show you how to access it. Same thing, if the bells go off, obviously go. OH&S, we're a little bit crammed in here, so just watch yourselves if the bells do go off and you get up in a hurry, don't trip over. So yeah, we're just going to be building on the last session, and then the next session we'll do, I'll get you guys to have a bit of a play with it as well. So, what I'll do is we'll go through the station risk profile. Can you remember any of the things that it showed, or that you could get the information you could get out of it from last week?
Demographics of the area.
Demographics of the area, beautiful. Alright, let's have a look.
For old people that have lots of money.
Old people that have lots of money, exactly, we'll try and find some of them in a minute, yeah. So, basically to get on to the SRP, you go into the fire rescue intranet, scroll down to employee self-service, and log on. So I will log on. Up here there's a folder called reporting, so you click on that. Down here, dashboards. So this was the bit that I was saying is a bit complicated. There should be just go directly into it, but it's not at the moment. And then through the dashboards, station risk profile. And it takes a little while to load. So once it does load, it's going to default to our station area, because it's attached, obviously got me attached to right. When it comes up,
City.
it opens with that, and then it will, it's slow.
Nice.
And it takes you to right.
Called it.
So if you want to see, like, the border, if you hold your mouse over the border, it turns it green, but you can still see it either way. So up here, in the right, if you want to change station area, you can change it to someone else. So if we're going to go to 37's area, click on it, takes you up there. It shows you the border, so obviously that's the border between 37 and us.
Where is that?
M2, is it?
Yeah, so the M2 just on the other side, so just before Lady Game Drive, so the river basically.
Oh.
Yeah.
Checks out.
Yeah. So this is what we were talking about before, if we're trying to figure out in the last session who's Sabre to palm off or preschool, that sort of thing. Yeah. So we'll go back to our area. Back to 42. It goes back. You can, up here, there's a few different tools that help you navigate around the thing, so you can zoom in. So click on the zoom tool.
Can you zoom out?
Oh yes, they're true. So you highlight the area, and you will zoom in. And then, if you click on the zoom out button up there, it zooms it back out. It is like magic. Okay, so up here is where I was talking about the top left side, the community risk profile and emergency management profile. So they're the two main screens that you can flick through. So it defaults to the community risk profile, and that's where you see all the demographic information, the ABS data, the cars data, and a few other maps you can pull up. I'll just zoom it out a little bit more.
So you have to click and drag it every time you zoom in.
Yeah, it's not a great zoom tool at all.
5 minutes on it.
Exactly. So, see how it's got some dots here? These grey dots are these demographic profiles that I was talking about the other day. So this is where you can find the rich people. and zoom in on them. So it comes up with the top 10, or you can list all. There's 49 different categories that you can click on. Now, I think these ones, this is the data that comes from the census. So the A categories, that we've just got your alphanumeric codes, but the A ones seem to be suburban elite, successful spending, and long-term luxury, settled empty nester households situated in the wealth belt of major cities. So, if you click on that, they've got all different colours as well. So these ones, the wealthy ones are purple. So all of a sudden, there's a bit of a wealth belt in our area. So if you want to maybe focus on some of them, use your zoom tool, and have a look at the ones down by the river. Yeah. So it'll zoom in, and if you actually hold your mouse over it, it actually comes up with the actual street address of those people. So you can start, so yeah.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. Financially savvy. Yeah, so there's a huge range of stuff.
Does it tell you what's financially savvy?
Well, it
Just
gives you, yeah, exactly. So it gives you a broad definition, a broad description, pure family units in affluent suburbs. And it could be any one of a few things, like frequently classified. Yeah. So it's quite broad, exactly. And you can click through and see, and then like the K ones are like all rural, like, so obviously there's none of ours. But I did notice when I was playing around with it before, our station area, but then if you go up to say 37 station area, there is a lot of purple dots for affluent areas and stuff, which I guess makes sense. So let's zoom out.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's all the different demographics, and you can. There's a lot you can click through. So we'll zoom out just back to our thing a bit more. Now down here is where we're talking about the ABS data. So that blue button.
Yes.
Turn it on. So this talks about the population, social characteristics, labour force, housing, and the built environment. So it comes up with the, like say with here with the population, it gives you how many in our station area are of a certain age, the percentage, and then the percentage, the state average percentage, so you can compare our station area to the state average. So the social characteristics are obviously one that's relevant to us. So the first one that comes up is that speak a language other than English at home. So for Ryde station area, 45% of the people living in our area, unsurprisingly, speak a language other than English at home.
22% in the state is a lot to not speak English as their first language.
That's right. But it shows that we double the state average. Yeah, exactly, it's quite a big, but we double the state average. So, I mean, it's not like we didn't know that, but it gives you that sort of stuff. And then the other one that's interesting for our area with stats is the housing. So if you look at like the percentage of people that live in townhouses and units, in our area it's 19 and 39%. But again, if you look at it compared to the state average for both of those medium to high density type living, it's almost double the state average again. So we've got a very densely populated area that doesn't speak English much at home. So that's where you look at targeting and training. So you can have a scroll through all of that. So you click that on and off with that blue button. Right next to it is the cars information. So you click on there, and it just comes up with the different types of cars activities for the last calendar month in our station area and the calendar year to date. You can see the little pie chart.
Do you do that by shift or just by the station?
Station. Yep. So you turn that off. Down here is other maps. So you can click on, there's EPOPs, public housing, places of interest, and category 1 hazards. So the same thing, if you click on that, the EPOPs, it comes up with all the different like EPOPs all over the place. So you can click that on and off. The places of interest comes up and there's a little button there for legend, and it tells you what they are, so like hospitals, primary schools, high schools, all that sort of stuff are there. So there's lots of info on that. So that was all the community risk profile stuff. The other one we were talking about was the emergency management profile, which is the other tab here. So if you click on that, it will, by default, come up with all these red dots, is all the residential structure fires that have happened, or that our station has attended in the last 3 years.
I must say, the rest isn't
Yeah, exactly. So there's quite a few there, and obviously there's plenty in roads and other station
So
areas.
is that we've been to?
That 42 is attended. Yeah, exactly.
What's the... No, never mind. That's the button.
That's right. So once you're in here, like I said, so they're all just the residential structure fires. You can get more information. So down here, this red button is fire analysis. So if you click that on, you can look at ignition factors, form of heat ignition, area of origin, time of call, and the total calls. So you can see what times most of the fires are, and you know the form of ignition. All this sort of stuff I think comes from the AIRS information that the SOs put in. So all that data you can explore as well. So there's lots of stuff on there. After the fire analysis, you can also look at the incident information and our response activities, which comes up here. So it talks about the different type of fires and calls that we go to. So fire and explosion calls, false alarm calls, and then it gives you them as a percentage as well. So it actually, the false calls and alarms is only 58%, so it's not as, I actually thought it would be higher than that. The next one for us is non-fire rescue calls, and then fire. So other. So it doesn't here, it doesn't have anything for MBAs, so it would be other. In these tabs is where some of this information hasn't been populated yet, like the whole system's not done, but this is like the top 3 AFA addresses, which was there, but it's disappeared, so they've changed it recently. But I guess when we get the information. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and it talks about the number of fires we go to outside our fire district, persons evacuated. So we've got 5,331, persons rescued 54. Yeah, so it's got all those sorts of stuff, and then with the building fires it tells you what sort of percentages, so residential, public housing, that sort of thing. So, the other thing that you can get away from that, so down here, so the red dots are these residential structure fires, and the other activity options, you could unclick that, so you get rid of the residential fires. It's a bit slow. And then you can look at other building fires, rubbish fires, MBAs involving extrication. So click on that, it'll come up with that colour. The dots on the map, so it shows you where all the MBA persons trapped were.
It's the last 3 years, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. But you can change that up here. So you can, narrow your search down or something. So again, if you're trying to find a job that you've been to and you know the category and roughly when it was and roughly where it was, then you can get, and then if you hold the mouse over it, it comes up with the address. Sometimes obviously if there wasn't a specific address, or it would just have the streets, like the intersection you get on your print, but then it gives you an incident number, which I think is actually the AIRS incident number. So you can have a look on there. But obviously here, if you wanted to zoom in, you can see where all our accident hotspots and stuff are. Not that we could do much, but maybe the poppers or whatever. Look at that. Yeah, so that's all the stuff that we were talking about the other day. If you, again, wanted to do any more training on it, like I was saying on the intranet on the Learning Hub, you can go in there and there's an e-learning module on that.
You did that, didn't you?
Do that. Well done. Any questions? No? Happy with that?
Yep.
Alright, so next time I'll just get you guys to click through it and you can have a bit of a play. But that is most of it. So there's feedback forms again. I'll get you to fill out and thank you. We're done.